Hey folks, Gwei. A couple of weeks ago I did a video about the simplicity of God's message. Love your neighbor as yourself, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body. Pretty much it, done, that's it, that's all you have to do. If you can do these things, everything is great. Now, I still believe the message is incredibly simple. The execution, however, is wildly difficult. The reason I'm mentioning this, though, is there was a great comment offered on that video. If the message is so simple, what's the point of the church? Why do we need the church to rule over us? The answer to that question is also terribly simple. We don't. Now I know. Why then are you a minister? Why then would you work in the church if you don't actually believe that the church is needed? I do not believe that the church is needed to lord themselves over people. I do not believe that the church is needed to be a morality police. The church, however, is needed. It's needed to be what it was always meant to be. A congregation, a collection of people who are all trying to live the way that Jesus asks us to live. A collection of people who are trying to follow those two rules together, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body, and to love your neighbor as yourself, to love one another as Jesus has loved us. We need people around us in order to do that. It is incredibly difficult, and every difficult task is made easier when we have more people, when we have more hands pitching in. In Galatians, Paul's letter to the Galatians. If you haven't read it, it's an absolute masterpiece. It's my go-to book in the Bible. I love that book. It challenges me to accept grace on deeper and deeper and deeper levels. It challenges me to let go of my desire to control my salvation. It reminds me to let go of my desire to lead people to do things my way. It reminds me that grace that is bestowed upon me is bestowed upon them, regardless of what their lives may look like. That the same grace, the same love that rains down upon me, rains down upon them. But Galatians chapter 6, verse 2 in particular, I think in this short verse, Paul, whether you like him or whether you hate him, I think Paul offers us the mission statement of the church. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ. The church is here to fulfill the law of Christ. The church is here to be Christ-like. The law of Christ being to love your neighbor as yourself and to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body. And if this is the law of Jesus Christ, the church desperately wants to fulfill that law, and we do so. We do so by carrying each other's burdens, helping one another out, being there for our friend, for our family, for our neighbor when they fall down, because we're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do things that we know aren't leading us in the direction of Jesus. That we're going to do things that we know are not loving towards our neighbors and that is not loving towards God. That's fact. That's part of humanity. We're going to do those things that we wished we didn't do. We're going to do those things that we habitually do. We're going to do those things that we don't want to do, but we keep doing even though we don't know why. The church is supposed to be there so that we can together pick ourselves back up. The church is supposed to be there. The congregation is supposed to be there to carry one another's burdens. We don't have to break any ribs. We don't have to smack anybody around. We don't have to put anybody down. We don't have to destroy lives. We don't have to police anybody's bedroom. We're there to carry one another's burdens. We are here to carry one another's burdens, to to help people in their suffering, to help people as they experience the big challenges that every Christian will experience as we try to be like the Lord we serve. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we will be this church. And I pray that we will be this church. That we will stop trying to make people to be just like us, and that we will start to pick one another up when we fall down. To remind all those people around us how much they are loved, how much they are desired, how valuable they are to the one who made them. Amen. Nemultus.